The next session I'm going to talk about is student motivation, the keys to success. I really enjoyed this session because I just finished my first year of teaching, and so it was very challenging for me to get the students to be motivated and let alone get them to learn and succeed. So the main thing I wanted to get from this session is how some tools I can use to kind of strategies to be able to help them get motivated. So in summary, basically, there's 3 different levels of motivation. The first one is or 3 different kinds, not levels. There's autonomy, where they feel like they can make their own decisions. That knowing that makes them want to do it in certain circumstances. Not every student's the same. That's why there's the 3 different kinds. But some students will thrive and will be motivated by the fact that they can choose what they want to do. The next level is mastery. So mastery is where they feel like they're good at it. So for instance, riding a bike. They try and try and try and try, but they're motivated to be good at it. They're motivated to finally have that skill learned. And so they'll keep doing it no matter how many times they fail. And also like using a cellular device or the iPad or whatever, they'll keep working at it until they've mastered it and they're motivated to use it. The last one is purpose. So another motivator is purpose, whereas they need or want to learn it. So they have a purpose, like for instance, again with the cellular devices or cell phones, they have a purpose. They can communicate with their friends. So if they don't learn how to use the device, then they can't communicate with their friends. So that's motivation. There's purpose to that device. So if we can bring purpose to the content and to the lessons, then some of the students might be motivated to do it. And another thing that she pointed out that is possibly the most important, in my opinion, is this study she mentioned during the session. And basically it's about telling students that they're smart versus in telling students that they worked really hard and they tried very well. So you have the group of students that, wow, you really tried hard, versus, wow, you completed that problem, you must be really smart. Over a period of time, the students who get the smart response start choosing easier problems because they don't want to fail. But the students that were encouraged because they were told that they tried hard picked harder problems because they knew they would get praised for their effort, not for their result. And I thought that was really important, and I'm going to try and emphasize that in my classroom this next year, of when they're doing math problems, saying, wow, you're trying really hard, that's great. Instead of emphasizing, wow, you finished that problem, you're smart, you can do it, Instead of saying that, see, you have the effort, that's all you need, And I think that was really great, and she used different strategies with us that we'll be able to take home, and I really enjoyed that aspect of the session. So I appreciate you listening, and I will see you in the next post.